Hi, my beautiful people. My name is Naomi Tataw, and I'm live and direct from the city of blinks, the city of lights, Dubai, United Arab Emirates. It's a new chapter, and you are all welcomed. This chapter is a little bit here and there with societal topics, but most especially in the bid of trying to inspire someone out there. A few others and myself will be sharing our immigration experiences, especially in the UAE. So stay tuned.
This might sound theoretical, but that's how I live my life. If I wake up in the morning and I'm doing something and that doesn't fit into what I want to, the overall goal that I want to achieve, then I know that's wastage of time. Even if it seems like it's going to put money in my pocket short term, but as long as it's not contributing towards where I want to go, then I'm not doing it. So discipline, clarity, intentionality, and then you need to have mentors. That's the truth. You need to have mentors.
I'm looking for one because I don't have any.
No, it's super important. To be honest, talking about SWYCHR, right? We started SWYCHR about a year ago. Like, we were just pivoting. Slightly more than a year ago. We were pivoting from the previous venture. Things didn't work out post-COVID. I was 100% sure that this is not going to work out. I took a trip to Abu Dhabi and met with my investor, and I told him, look, this is not going to work out, but I have this other idea. We still have some funds. Let's work on that. And for the first few months, it was more of just working on the product. But once I started going out, going to seminars, conventions, meeting people, we've been able to take things. We've been able to make progress that I would have done on my own in 5 years or 10 years. But in 1 year, we've been able to do a bit more than what I would have been able to do for maybe even 10 years down the line myself. That's the power of the relationships. That's the power of mentorship.
And networking.
Yes, when you meet people who have, maybe we are raising capital, to extend the runway. And one of my advisors will pick up the phone, make 10 phone calls, and before you know, people will start writing checks. Those are people I would have never been able to convince on my own or not even have access to. So I think all of that is, you can box all of that into mentorship. You need people who have walked the walk. You need people who have done what you've done or who have been through a similar journey to guide you so that you don't make the mistakes that they made. So you learn from their experiences and then you don't make the same mistakes.
Okay. Thank you, because you're also advising me in some way. I really need a mentor, actually, because sometimes I go astray. I just need someone.
We all do, right?
Someone to drag me and say, no, don't take that road, okay? Take this one. Yeah, so with the experiences you've had, would you advise someone to come over to the UAE?
Yes, any day, anytime. However, I will not say pack your bags and come to the UAE with hands in your pocket, because that's what a lot of people do and they run into trouble. You need to understand, let's put it this way. Let me speak to Cameroonians, right?
Cameroonians and Nigerians, the West African crew.
Yeah, but now I want to focus on Cameroon because, I'm not being self-centered here. I want to speak to Cameroonians because I have that experience. I understand how Cameroon works.
Both home country and the UAE.
Exactly. So, one thing, if you're not useful in Cameroon, you will not be useful in the UAE.
Thank you so much.
Simple, right? Don't think that you are not able to provide value in Cameroon and then you want to pack your bags and come to the UAE. Why am I saying that? The UAE is 100 times more competitive than Cameroon.
Yeah.
In anything that you're thinking about doing. So the measuring rod is, how you can evaluate yourself if you're ready to move to the UAE. Ask yourself, am I of value to my immediate community in Cameroon? If you're not of value, then try to get value. When you get that value and you feel like you are the best in that community, then you are ready to come to the UAE, because you're coming to a more competitive society where you will meet people from everywhere, over 200 nationalities.
Yes.
So you're applying for a job, a Canadian is applying for that same job, a British guy is applying for that same job, someone from India, someone from South America is applying for that same job. So why would they pick you? You know, some people like to play the race card. Yes, there might be discrimination. I'm not dismissing that, but you have to be the absolute best. Yeah. If someone is better than you, that person definitely provides more value for money to the company. They will take that person.
So you're talking about being valuable to your community when you're in your home country. What type of value are you talking about?
Like, I mean, in terms of your career, for example, people come to the UAE with no work experience. They've never worked anywhere.
I came to the UAE with no work experience, trust me.
Exactly, but that was challenging, right?
It wasn't really challenging because at the time when I came, you can pick up a job. And I had my communication skill. I speak well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you had that going on for you.
I had that going on for me.
Exactly,
so I know for sure.
value.
Because when I came in, they were like, buy a job, buy a job. I said, I'll not buy a job because I know I can back up my interviews. I know what to say. I know when to say it. So definitely I can back up my interviews. Yep.
A lot of people, see, some people do that. A few people do that and succeed. Why? Because, okay, let's say, first of all, you didn't have zero value. You had your communication skills ongoing for you. Some people come to the UAE, zero communication skills, they cannot present themselves. They've never been to an interview before. They've never written a CV before. They have zero value to provide, right? And then you came, you had some value. Even with no job experience, you had your communication skills going on for, and when you had a job, you had to work hard to make sure you catch up because you definitely did not go to your employer and say you had zero experience.
Of course not.
Exactly. So when you got the job, you had to work hard to defend it. Some people do that, then they get the job and they think that everything is done and they become lazy. No, when you get a job, that's when the job starts. You have to work on yourself, you know. Maybe you have to work day and night to catch up with others who already have experience. And maybe you have to do that for a year or two and then it becomes natural. You see what I mean? So my advice to Cameroonians, if you're thinking of coming to the UAE, make sure you have some kind of value to provide because that's what is going to set you apart here. Don't think I'll just, because I don't have anything doing in Cameroon, I'm going to pack my bag and then try to get skills. You know, everything here, we are in a digital society. So no matter what job you're doing, I mean, especially white collar job, you need to know how to use basic computer applications, Excel, Microsoft Word, blah, blah, blah. Just have those skills, you know. And then, of course, very important, you have to be able to communicate. Everywhere you go, you have to sell. You know, you might be selling yourself to get a job. You might be, you know, so I think if you have the sales skills, if you can sell yourself, you have some value to provide, then the UAE is for you.
Okay. Hope you guys are listening to someone that has really succeeded in the UAE and he's an entrepreneur. So, because he's really advising me too, okay? Because there are some things that I was lacking in and I'm still lacking in and I'm still trying to catch up, okay? So we are not here I'm not here trying to bash on people, but because I know I still have some lapses as a human being actually. So on the final note, last question, I want you to advise, right, the African community, especially those of the West African descent. You talked about Cameroonians. I just wanted to put them now in a whole. Ghanaians, Nigerians, because you know Africans, we suffer a lot here. So I want you to give them advice, like how to groom themselves, because we lack that one, how they can maneuver and become good or great like other Africans here.
Okay, so before I even go to that question, I want to just touch on something that you said. So we are advising each other, we are learning from each other.
Definitely.
We all have lapses. No one is like, you know, all set up. Now, talking about our brothers and sisters in the UAE, I want to say that you should believe that certain things are possible. You know, don't limit yourself. You see the guy.
I'll just cut you there. Limitations for us is key. Like we limit ourselves. I'm in a group, right? And when they put up jobs like security, you see the amount of people, security nanny, cleaners, you see the amount of people that want that job. And then you put something as small as telesales executive. Telesales sells a lot because sometimes they pay. I've worked as telesales and I was earning 7K. So it sells a lot, but you put it on a group, everybody just backs out.
Yeah, so that's the mental
I'm just
limitation.
like, is it that we are so afraid of jobs with titles, or we have just relegated ourselves to the background that Africans are just what nannies, are just what security?
No, I think it's really the mental limitation is the first big challenge. So we have to learn how to remove those limitations from our minds.
Yes.
You know, we need to believe that certain things are possible. for example, like you said, we don't see a lot of Africans creating businesses. We don't see a lot of Africans getting into entrepreneurship.
Definitely.
Because maybe people just think certain things are reserved for certain people.
Yeah.
I don't think so. If I want something, I go for it. I don't care. If I succeed,
Trust
fine.
you.
If I fail, I learn
Yeah.
and I do it again. So I want to say, don't limit yourself. Just believe everything is possible, and then be realistic. Realistic in the sense that you cannot live from step 1 to step 10, right? You have to live from step 1 to step 2. So real success takes time. You know, there's
Yeah.
this fake notion of fake it till you make it. I don't believe in that. I say face it till you make it. So you have to go in logical steps, right? Be realistic. If you want to get somewhere, try to come up with logical steps that you think is realistic enough for you. Because when you set yourself unrealistic targets, unrealistic time frames, and so on and so forth, you end up failing, and that discourages you, it sabotages you psychologically,
Yeah.
because you think that success is not possible.
Yeah.
But it's actually possible. Everything you think about is actually possible, including here in the UAE. Now, for those who, I mean, when you come to the UAE, of course, there's that pressure. You have a certain time frame to find a job and blah, blah, blah. That pressure makes most of us, you accept whatever job. And that's not bad. The problem is if you end there, you know, most people, when they get the first job, maybe it's a security job, maybe, I mean, there are a lot of stories, right? Like my elder brother, when I watch his, when I think about his journey, where he started here in the UAE, or even in Cameroon, and where he is today, you know, I'm super proud. That's a story for another day. And that's a testimony that, I mean, why am I only talking about my brother, myself, and a lot of friends around me, right? Everything is possible. You have to remove the psychological barrier, and then you have to find the logical steps. Then you have to be intentional. Like I said, you have to be intentional. Find mentors. Talk to those who have. Don't talk to the guy who is in the bed space with you and who is defeated in life, who thinks the UAE is the worst place to be in. Don't take advice from a guy like that. Talk to people who have made it in different fields, how they did it, and don't try to replicate. Some people go to YouTube and they watch Elon Musk and they try to do what Elon Musk is doing now. No, ask yourself, what did Elon Musk do when he was at the stage where I find myself now? That's what you should be doing. Now, coming back to jobs, right? You get a security job, you get whatever. There are so many short courses. Find something that you're passionate in, and then maybe you want to, I mean, you're passionate about cooking. There's so many courses that you can do and become a chef, a sous chef or whatever. If you're passionate in, okay, let's say if you already love the security field, you can maybe move from security to safety. You can specialize. Like, find those short courses. A lot of us, when we get those first jobs, we become comfortable. We buy an iPhone, we go to Dubai Mall, we take pictures and post online, and people think we made it, and then we go back to our bed spaces. That's crap.
That's crap.
Invest in yourself. I know people, you want to solve all the problems in the family, but the truth is, you're not helping anybody if you stay broke. Rather, maybe sacrifice and invest in yourself for a while, make it, and then help people and be able to live a comfortable life while doing so. So that's the advice I have for everyone watching me, and for myself as well. Not to be limited, to be more intentional, find mentors, and then try to find some logical steps and just sacrifice. To be honest, we cannot summarize this without putting the word sacrifice. It's difficult. That iPhone that you're trying to, you see someone in the bed space having an iPhone. What's the point?
My dear, see that iPhone wahala. I just got iPhone 2021 and I did not buy it. It's my company's phone.
Exactly.
And when
there's no problem if you buy it, if you can afford it.
No, I cannot even buy it. I don't buy it. There are certain things that I will not buy. One is iPhone. Like when they gave me and they were I said I don't know. They said if you never own, I said why should I even own an iPhone?
So these are the things we invest in, those gadgets that don't get us anywhere. And then a lot of our brothers and sisters, the moment you get a job for maybe 5K, you start thinking of taking trips to Europe, taking trips to whatever, you know, post pictures online and feel like you made it. But the truth is you're trying to compare with people who are spending their harvest, but you're spending your seed. So plan, when you start earning money, plant those seeds, invest in yourself, right? And when you become, I don't know, when you make it, you can do all of those things. I think these are the things that limits us. Like if you look at other nationalities, they invest in themselves. You see someone with a master's degree, he's trying to do this other professional course, he keeps, you know, investing.
Some of them don't even have degrees, but you see the position they hold because they've done one certification or the other.
Yes,
like they
they
have
keep
couples of
investing.
certifications, of which, as we just come, we just land the job by chance. We just remain there.
Yes, we stay there for 5, 6 years. You're doing the same thing, and you're comfortable, right? At least you post pictures online, and people say, "Wow,
I
she
don't
made it."
myself. I don't post. I don't.
No, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying.
I don't post.
I'm just saying,
seriously.
like, we should be focused on creating real. Because see, at the end of the day, I don't know how others manage this, but I want to be honest with myself.
Yeah.
People can see you as whatever, but when you go back and you lie, you lie in your bed.
Reality
Yes.
kicks in.
What do you think about yourself? Do you really think you made it? Do you think you're comfortable? Do you think you're on the path to success? You need to ask yourself those questions. And when you ask those honest questions to yourself and you can answer honestly, then you will, start doing something to really, really become successful. Forget about the perception. The gadgets that you want to get, the trips that you want to take, those pictures that you want to post online, they're not running away.
Definitely.
Yes, those things will come. But invest in yourself so that you can do those things. There are people here, and I don't want to call names, who make so much money that I wonder if our brothers, in the UK, in the US, if they make that kind of money. But most of them started from bed space.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? But they invested in themselves, and I think what you're doing here is great. I might not be a typical example, but I'm sure you will invite a lot of other people here to share their success stories, success that is even very obvious, so that people start knowing that the UAE has a lot more to offer. Stop limiting yourself. If you're in Abu Dhabi, just know that you have Cameroonians living in Palm Jumeirah. You have Cameroonians
Because I
living
wanted to ask, I wanted to go that way. Like, what do you have to say about people who are they're earning good salaries and they're still in Abu Dhabi? Because I just think that Abu Dhabi should be a starting point. Then later on, when you've had that job that you want or you're getting there, leave that place, because the mentality of that place sucks sometimes.
Yeah, the environment limits you.
Yeah.
I wouldn't advise. I'm not saying that people should abandon Abu Dhabi. Like,
Yeah.
I go to Abu Dhabi all the times. I go to have African food and so on.
Yeah.
But your environment limits you sometimes. So I think there's just too much distraction for any professional. If you're living in Abu Dhabi. So I think when you get a job and you want to start doing something serious about your life, that's the investment I'm talking about. Even investing in a comfortable environment where you can work, you can have your peace of mind, you can think. It's a worthwhile investment. So I really, really don't advise any professional that when you get a job, when we come, we have to start there. But when you get a job, you have to move out. That's the truth. You have to move out and be in a less distracting environment where you can focus.
Okay. So what other advice? Because we see that we are so loud, and we Africans, we are so loud and we talk a lot. That's one thing that makes me to go mad. Like, you just talk a lot. On the internet, I was saying the other time with some other guests that on the internet, the people who put the bed spaces, how people are making love in the bed spaces, I'm sorry to say, are the Africans. And I was asking, like, when I stay for bed space past Indians and Filipinos will stay in the bed space, 2 families in one bed space.
Yeah.
Indians, 4 couples in one room, and you will not see all of those things circulating on the internet. Why is it only Africans, my brother?
Yeah, that's the thing. I wish I had the answer to that. Actually, is it yesterday or 2 days ago? Just drawing from this example, we were taking a trip somewhere with friends, and I think someone proposed. We bought drinks because the plan was to have drinks and have some food after. And someone proposed, like, "Oh, let's put some drinks in the car." You know what I said? I said, "I don't want us to keep being known for the wrong reasons.
Thank you.
Yes, let's have that. Let's develop that mental consciousness. Like, we don't want to always be known or be noticed for the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
Let us be noticed for the right reasons. And if people have that mental consciousness that we are responsible for the reputation that we have, like collectively, anything you're doing as an individual, just know that you're representing a race, you're representing a community of people. And the way you're perceived will reflect on the overall perception of all of us. So if we all have that mental consciousness, then we will know that we shouldn't be doing things like that. Like you said, not only Africans live in bed spaces.
Not only that.
We didn't even start bed spaces, right? So, sometimes just think about it. Like, what's the perception? What's the goal of putting something like that outside?
Just to condemn the country, just to make people think that
Yeah,
the
but
UAE is not it,
no.
but believe us, it's it.
To be
It's
honest,
lit.
right? To be honest, there are people who go to the United States and they're not able to go back home for 10 years.
Tell
Right?
them, yeah, I
Yes.
have people in my
Yes.
home that are
I
like that.
live in the UAE. Sometimes I go to Cameroon twice in a year.
Yeah.
You know, as often as I want to, and that's not only me. That's like almost a lot of people. You know, a lot of people can do that. And the UAE is one country where someone comes in here, and after 3 months max, they start sending money home. They start solving problems home.
Yeah.
I mean, when we were growing up, we had relatives who we hear stories like relatives who go to Europe and for 3 years they are just inside the house. So the struggle is everywhere.
Yes.
It's not only in the UAE. Yes, the UAE is very competitive, but it's also where you can make it if you're good at what you do. So let's not demonize the UAE. Let's not believe all the stories we hear online about the UAE. The UAE is an amazing place to be honest. It's super safe. That's something we cannot omit.
Tax free.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, tax free, blah blah blah, but you can compensate that. That can be compensated with the fact that life is a bit expensive, but it's really, really, really safe. Like I literally can go out of my house at any point in time, and the notion of fear doesn't even exist. You know, you don't. I mean, it's not like you're scared or whatever. The notion completely disappears. The notion of fear. So it's super safe. However, just like every other country, just like every other place, the UAE has its ups and downs. You know, one of the key, I mean, everything you hear about the UAE really has to do with the fact that it's very competitive. And just like I advise a lot of our brothers and sisters, they leave and come to the UAE without any kind of value to really provide. And that's why, you know, a lot of them end up really, really struggling. But then, even if you're already here and you came here, you know, without real value to provide, that's not the end of that's not the end of the story. You know, even while here, you can generate a lot of value. You can create a lot of value for yourself. You can study, even just YouTube. There are a lot of courses that you can take on YouTube and add some value to yourself and start living the UAE dream. That's what I would say. So I mean, we already spoke a lot about what people should do, and also talking about the reputation. We need to understand that as a race, we are collectively responsible for how people perceive us. So whatever you're doing, be it in a restaurant, be it about the content that you're posting on social media, maybe on WhatsApp groups, you know, the direction of your conversation, you should understand that we are all really, really responsible for the reputation of our race. So we have to be mindful and take active steps to promote a positive image, because all of us are going to benefit from that overall. I think that's it for me.
Okay, so I wanted to chip in again because I want to ask you about the notion of grooming, like the hairstyles, because see, especially for the ladies, they'll invite you for, I've said it in my couple of vlogs, I know some people are just going to pin me on that. So, because when it comes to grooming, some ladies will just come with some colorful hair, very gorgeous, and you're applying for a receptionist position. Like, who is going to put you with that representation in their front office?
Exactly, you're the face of the company.
I don't really get it.
All of that it goes back to what I just said. Like everything you do, you should understand that, you know, people have a certain perception of you based on the way you look. And the worst thing is that perception doesn't only end with you. It now rubs off on all other Africans or West Africans or the black race. So we need to be collectively responsible. We need to understand that we have to be conscious about our actions and really, really do our best to leave a positive impact wherever we go. Just like you said, the hairstyle. If you're going to an interview, you need to think about, okay, what kind of job role is this? You know, if you're going to interview to sell in a nightclub, okay, you can do whatever you want, but you cannot go to a professional environment and you want to be like, you know, so we need to think about these things.
Definitely. So any other thing you want to chip in?
No, I mean, over and above everything I already said, I just want to thank you for this opportunity
Okay.
to share my story. And I think it's an amazing thing that you're doing, you know,
thank you.
bringing people here to share their stories and
Yeah,
inspire others.
yeah.
Yeah, so people should really know that, I mean, the good thing is you're doing this in the UAE, so it's not
Yeah.
like a setup. You know, you're inviting people who live, I've been here for maybe 9 years now,
Yeah.
or 8 or 9 years, and I think it's an amazing place to be. Like I said, I already consider myself successful a long time ago, and the UAE is a part and parcel of that story. So you watching me, whether you're in the UAE or thinking to come to the UAE,
Or you're in the
please,
US and
or-
still struggling,
yes,
you can pick up something.
yes. So
Never know.
just believe that everything is possible. Don't lose focus and keep working.
Okay, so perfect. Hope you guys, you all heard him. He's successful and he had his yardsticks to success. And right now we come to the end of this episode, and I thank you so much for watching. And if you're seeing this very beautiful lady and you're asking, who is she? My name is Naomi T, and live and direct from the City of Light, from the City of Blinks, Dubai, United Arab Emirates. And if you want to join my community, click on the red subscribe button, click on thumbs up to like the video, because you'll be seeing much more of this content about people who have been in the UAE, lifestyle in the UAE, and on other sumptuous and very, very good topics. Okay, so if you're in the UAE and you think you've had a story and you really want to inspire someone by sharing your stories, then just go on my description page and you'll definitely see my contact as well as my email address, and you can get in contact with me. Thank you so much for watching, and right now we say bye.
Bye.